All right, time to look at NWBO, right? A lot of people want me to look at this stock. It's pretty controversial. My friend Michael Bigger is a stockholder, I believe. Oh, we don't do OTC yet. These guys are OTC? Ow! NASDAQ closed or something? Get in the OTC, man. Get off the OTC. These guys have been around forever. How are they still on OTC? OTC is called the pink sheets. I mean, I started on the pink sheets, but I uplisted within a year. What's wrong with these guys? Do damn uplisting, man. Pink sheets. Gotta talk to our pink sheets data provider. All right, Northwest Bio, 32 cents. Let's go. Yeah, let's start the SEC. Okay, so what's the story with Northwest? They have 1.2 billion shares outstanding. These guys think they're Apple. And you know the shareholders are like, well, if it goes to $5, I'll be rich. Man, if it goes to $5, this company's worth $8 billion. Yeah, we'll get that, Emmanuel. We're trying to grow like at the right pace too. We don't want to grow too fast. All right, so this is, okay, for real, they have $2.8 million. Like I said, I got girlfriends I've given more dollar value in clothing to. $3 million cash. Come on, bro. I'm sure Truth Social will go to zero. I believe that. Oh, they have debt. Oh, no. Bankruptcy awaits. See, the problem is you can't really short a 32-cent stock, or I'd probably short it. The banks should let us short these things. Like, it kind of doesn't make sense. Like, JP Morgan, you know, I'm going to buy a 30-cent put. What am I going to do? I mean, to multiply it by 2 zeros, it's like shorting a $32 stock. So this stock's gone from $1 to 30 cents. There's no options. Yeah, this stock has just been a dilution spiral. Yeah, this company's going bankrupt, right? I mean, they have to be. Trading like a distressed HVAC company from Indiana. 3 in cash, 51 in debt. 3 in cash, 51 in debt. For biotech. Stop the games, man. Stop playing with me, man. I told you not to play with that man. I don't have any revenue. Are you crazy? Revenue? Revenue? They lose $14 million a quarter. So this is called 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗃. I've looked at this before a long time ago. It's kind of a completed a phase 3, submitted an MA being reviewed. So I'm guessing they're not doing a BLA. GBM. Okay. 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗃 GBM. Oops, GBM. Is this the paper in question? Real promise or a negative trial? The debate is open. Very tough illness. Glioblastoma. Had a friend's parent pass away from it. Okay, so this is, look at the NCT number, chat. Look at this NCT number. It's like one of the first entries in clinical trials. Study's been going on 30 years. No joke, 18 years. 18 years later, our clinical trial is over. The results, inconclusive, do another one. Run it back, run it back. This is like that old joke, like, your mom's so old, her social security number is 6. This trial is so old, the NCT number is 45968. They're up to like 5 million now. Or 500,000, maybe 5 million. It skips every 13 though, so it's not like there's 5 million trials. Okay, so they had externally matched controls. Are you allowed to do that, Chad? You allowed to do that? You allowed to do a trial against nothing? How do you do that? Who does trials like that? You guys do trials like that? Chad? Maybe somebody got placebo. It says placebo. Was there a placebo or not? They use control groups from other trials? Bruh. 94 sites in 4 countries. Okay, there's a protocol. Need that. They keep saying placebo, but there's no placebo. How'd they publish this thing? Where's the placebo? Did they do a placebo or not? Is there an external control or a placebo? I'm so confused. I think they did do a placebo. Okay, p-value is 0.002. Hazard ratio 0.8. Perfectly fine. On the face of it, totally fine, but why didn't they compare against the placebo they did? Well, even with crossover, you can... Okay, so it would have failed if they looked at the crossover patients. It's a little odd, to say the least. Let's see what this guy said. There was a... Where am I going with this? There was a... Here it is. Why have a placebo group if you're not going to compare? Although it was a double-arm phase 3 trial, a single survival curve was presented, an anomalous fact for a randomized study. You never see stuff like this. This is like a Seeking Alpha article published. Who published this? Cancers, Basel. Journal called Cancers. I've seen this journal before. So PFS was worse? Yikes. It's hard to have worse PFS but better OS. Maybe, John. That seems unlikely. Yeah, but the OS is against some contrived cockamamie. They should file with the FDA then. Strange. They got to do a new trial, man. They did it. They just did an average. This thing's a 0. They're hugely in debt. All it takes is the UK, is that where they filed to say, nah, do another trial, and it's bankrupt. Nobody's going to fund the next trial. OTC, huge debt, no cash. Just wish I could short it. Use an external control. That's not a trial. That's a single arm, like phase 1, phase 2. And it's not like the results are amazing. You had this 2.8 month improvement over a fake comparison group. Come on. I wonder if I could find a control group more recent, or Adam Feuerstein, my favorite guy. You just pick the trial that's best for you. Watch how easy this is. Well, this is protocol. Standard of care is always improving a little. There we go. 32 patients. OS 20 months. This would have easily beaten DC Vax. This is why you do a clinical trial. How'd these guys get 20-month overall survival then? 20.7 months. But and Northwest is telling us it's 16.5. It's a lot easier to beat the lower hurdle. Hey, you take the hurdles for the Olympics and put them down here. I'll be the biggest Olympic athlete you'll ever met. Yeah, I don't think checkpoint inhibitors work for GBM yet. We haven't proven that yet. Well, we can look at the filings. Doesn't look like he filed anything yet. It's not bullish when the biggest stockholder starts to dump. Yeah, this Northwest thing is a joke. They'll be bankrupt in a year. Yeah, it's positive. You know, I talked to Martin Shkreli, and I realized that the $70 million position I have might be a tad irresponsible, and every sophisticated biotech investor I've talked to thinks it's a short. You know, maybe I shouldn't have my whole net worth in this one stock. I may have overreacted. Sorry, honey. I can't lose all the money. Maybe it's 10 million. Nothing wrong with taking a flyer, taking a gamble, but do it with 1% of your money. You know, 70 million isn't 1% of your money. I mean, think about it. What gamble would you take as a lotto ticket? This is a literal lotto ticket. Would you go to Vegas with 20% of your money and put it on red? Would you go to Vegas with 5% of your money and put it on red? You're worth $5 million. You worked your whole life to make $5 million. Would you say, I got 250 on red? Knowing it's a money-losing proposition, by the way. 𝗥𝗏𝗏 is in for 70, supposedly. You know, you're better off just saying, all right, maybe I want to gamble. Let me put 1% of my net worth. And that's still a lot. That's still a lot. Yeah, Dawn looks pretty bullish. I think it'll double. All right, let's look at this Clearside Biomedical. $1.28. I remember these guys. Maybe like triamcinolone in the back of the eye. It's like a weird device, drug combination. You cannot automate this process without deep neural networks. All right, Clearside. Now, they don't have debt in the sense that they sold some royalty, but you can kind of keep that in your mind as a little bit of debt. It's an obligation that's not recourse to the company, but you've bargained away a little bit of your future. That's a good question on Clearside. I think their goal was to use that technology for something. Let's see. So they have. Oh, this is This is a kinase inhibitor. Which kinase inhibitor is it? Axitinib. Yeah, I don't think Firebase is very expensive. I've actually never really used it. I know a lot of our devs use it. It's kind of like what stops me from being a decent full stack engineer. I just don't. I've never really programmed with Stripe or Firebase. So like whenever I do a small project, I roll all my own stuff, which is obviously not a great idea. I've been programming since I was a little kid, but the thing about programming is knowing how to assign variables and do flow control and data structures is all pretty easy. The real development comes with lots of practice with all kinds of different libraries and knowing the full stack, including like data transformations, like the fundamental root, database operations, and swimming all the way up to the front end. So much work. You have to be really, really good to know all that stuff. Lately, I've been working on low-end optimization of CUDA and things like that. So I'm looking at Jeremy Howard's CUDA course. All right, so they have LPI top-line data coming real soon. This is like 3-4 weeks away. You guys want to trade this? We'll put some money down on the table? I just got the gambling itch. When you get that, you gotta stop it. Don't gamble. They're literally telling you data expected October 7th. Bruh, I want to gamble, bruh. And then, this 𝗨 has some data too. I think it's called 𝗨. I don't pronounce it the wrong way. So what is the suprachoroidal space? I know what the choroid is. Isn't the eye amazing? So what's the suprachoroidal space? So it's behind the retina? I think they made up this space. Sclera, choroid, RPE is retinal pigment epithelium, and the retina, and the vitreous humor is the bulk of the eye. So the suprachoroidal space, you basically create it by injecting below the sclera but above the choroid. So it's basically above. There's a couple crypto products out there that are pretty good. I think there's one called Dune. Dune is pretty solid. They're not doing a great job of letting me try the product. It used to be an app that you could just run, but so Dune's pretty good. Of course, I have Riz. You want to challenge my Riz? You could sit your girlfriend right in front of me. You could be sitting over there. I'll convince her to leave you. Convinced. I don't care if you're engaged, bruh. I'm sitting there like, yeah, baby girl, you know you need a real man, right? You know you need Shkreli. Who's this bum, bro? I'll walk out with her on my arm like that. It's over. Let's look at this. Take this seriously. 60 patients versus our good friend, 𝗓𝗓𝗓. 2 milligrams, though. It's a low dose. Isn't it? Isn't 𝗓𝗓𝗓 mostly done at like 4 or 8? I mean, it's such a small market cap. Is 𝗓𝗓𝗓 dosed at 4 milligrams or 8 milligrams most of the time? Because 2 milligrams. So it's a big catalyst coming up, but I don't know. 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓, yeah. 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓, aflibercept. So like, I'm not even sure it's going to be that relevant. But let's look, maybe their base business is worth something because they have a FDA-approved drug. I thought they had an FDA-approved drug. Yeah, dry is a different disease. Wet is very severe. Dry, you don't even need to treat. Publicly traded $90,000 revenue company. So it all is on this, basically. How is 𝗥𝗘𝗓𝗏, is it less painful of a procedure because it's in the choroid and not the retina? Still think you got to go under, right? No, they have an FDA-approved product. They have a product. That's why the revenue is weird. But do you undergo anesthesia?
Injection within the suprachoroidal space, or SCS, located between the sclera and the choroid, leads to spherical distribution of drug targeted to the back of the eye, with high bioavailability to the retina and choroid. This procedure is unique for suprachoroidal delivery and differs from intravitreal injections in 3 key ways. 1. Perpendicular alignment of the syringe to the injection site. 2. Compression of the conjunctiva with the needle hub. And 3. Slow injection over 5 to 10 seconds. Injection within the suprachoroidal space, or SCS, located...
Looks easier than, I think that looks easier than 𝗓𝗡𝗅𝗍. Yeah, I know Chimera. So if it's not any easier of a procedure, I thought the 𝗓𝗡𝗅𝗍 procedure was more significant than that. But it's like it's really intense. Oh, it could pop on the data if the data's good, but there's a lot of risk, right? Like 𝗓𝗡𝗅𝗍 works pretty well. If it's somehow better, it'll really go crazy. But there have been many companies that try to dethrone 𝗓𝗡𝗅𝗍. It hasn't worked. The risk reward is almost kind of there. I don't know, guys. That's a tough one. No, Clearside looks very risky. Clearside looks very risky. Fresh looked very cool. I like Fresh a lot. But if you bought any stock in the last few days, you'd be up. All right, the market's up a lot. TARS has been my probably best winner. Cassava is going to be the ultimate. I don't know if investing clubs are a good idea. I'll look more closely at Clearside. Right now, it's very unclear if Clearside will do well. It's always been unclear. This company's always kind of been around the healthcare scene, and just really difficult to tell what the heck's going to happen. I can't look at stock all day, guys. I have to go to work. I would love to look at stocks all day. Yeah, of course I know Ionis. I've known them for 25 years. Yeah, the polymarket stuff is so stupid. Well, there's rich and then there's rich. There's rich and liquid. 2 different things. Rich means that you have assets. Liquid means you have assets you can spend money on today. So if you got a privately traded company, you might be rich, but you don't have millions of dollars or tens of millions of dollars or whatever it is of liquidity. You could have $1 billion. Let's say you own 10% of Anduril. You're a billionaire. But you may not necessarily have, even 10% of that to spend on, I don't know, a donation or something like that.